This is just an example how different age ranges demand to consider different endpoint exploration. So this is simply, what can you do to assess and quantify pain in different age ranges? So what you would use in adults, some reported outcomes, some visual analog scale, some comparative to whatever questions or things like so. That works, yeah, maybe down to children that at least have a very well-developed language capability to talk to you. So let's see, 5, 6 years old. In younger ones, that won't work. You cannot really ask a 2-year-old how he works. He might be weeping if he has pain. He might have some facial expressions. He might have some trying to prevent disease. So you really would have to look at such a small child in a completely different way. And in the worst case, in the real neonate, it's actually quite difficult to find any sensitive pain outcome measures that went that far. So some, I'm not sure how long ago, let's say 2-3 decades ago, infants, basically it was more or less ignored. So it was said these children are mentally not really capable of really having a concept of pain. So some things were simply ignored because people had no idea how to assess that. Well, that of course doesn't work any longer. We have found that, for example, some physiologic responses are caused by pain as a causative agent. So you have to do some measurements where you can see, well, okay, there is no stress hormone level increase or things like, but this is really very indirect assessment of pain. So it's really difficult. And if you, for example, want to develop a product, then you will have to define age ranges in a trial that would take such different endpoints into account. So it is not so straightforward to simply say, I do a trial in infant to school age. I choose just arbitrary any of these endpoints, that what we would call a composite endpoint, because these outcomes are differently sensitive in this age range. So as soon as you start considering how can I approach such a complex outcome as pain, you will see the problems popping up, and how to solve them is again a case-by-case decision. We'll need a lot of feedback with your experts, their experience, agreement in societies on what is be used in other contexts as outcome, and so on.